Thank you for joining me today on Man in the Kitchen. We're here doing Southwest lasagna today, folks. I'm glad you came in today. Southwest lasagna. Because you know what? I had to do a dish that would match the set because it was Southwest. So take a look at it. You know, those of you who've been watching the show for a long time, you know that we had a Route 66 theme going on here for a long time. And the Route 66, let's have just a moment of silence. Aww. Just a moment for the Route 66 wallpaper that we used to have. We've got the, right, we're playing taps over there. And it's gone. As you can see, we've got a new set here. So folks, nothing else has changed. Okay, we got this beautiful set, but nothing else has changed. So we just don't have the Route 66. But I would recommend any time that you take that route from Chicago to LA, okay? That's it, because it is you can get your kicks there, believe me. Okay, so here we are. We've got our sausage going, first of all, folks, because we've got a nice sausage base today for our lasagna, our Southwestern lasagna. And what you saw me doing when you tuned in is I was cooking up, actually cutting up a little bit of garlic here, folks. And the garlic is going to go in, but before that, we're going to actually put in a little bit of onion. So let's grab an onion here, because what would Man in the Kitchen be? And see, those of you that are saying, the show's changed, the Route 66 wallpaper's gone, the show's changed. No, the show has not changed because I'm cutting up an onion, which I've done in just about every show since we started back in the late 60s. So here we go. No, we didn't start in the late 60s. People are coming up to me, you know, I always make that joke about how Neil Armstrong was our first guest and how, you know, I had that big afro and Greg Wyatt had to shoot around my afro back then. We didn't start in the late 60s. People come up to me and go, man, I didn't realize your show's been on since then. And I always feel so bad. I say, no. I'm only 28 years old. I couldn't have started the show. You know, I would have been in my mother's womb. You know, the first Man in the Kitchen would have been broadcast from my mother's womb if that was the case. So here we are. We're here in the millennium, and we've not been on that long. But we are continuing to have some awesome dishes. I'm doing this in reverse today just because we're trying to conserve time and be the most efficient cooking show that we can possibly be, because we want you to get your money's worth, okay? So there we are. So here is, this also takes a lot of garlic, folks, a lot of garlic. And I've got right here, I've got 4 cloves. And that's only half the garlic we're using, folks, at 4 cloves. That's only half. So I'm going to clean up my mess here a little bit. Go ahead and mince these guys up. As those onions cook in our Southwest lasagna, now there's going to be something special about this Southwest lasagna today. Something special. It's going to have a little twist to it, and I'll explain that when I get to it. It's not truly 100% Southwest lasagna, because we've got a little influence there, and I'll explain that when we get to it. Okay, so what you want to do is you're just going to chop up your garlic cloves, okay? I'm not going to mince them too finely, because they're actually going to go in here, and they're going to end up cooking a little bit. So we're just going to get them, you know, about to that point, folks. Not too much more than that. And then right into the hopper with the sausage and onions, okay? Right into the hopper there. Then, once we've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of cumin, ground cumin. Ooh, yeah. A little ground cumin right in here now, because I'm going to toast the cumin. Toast it. What does that mean, Jeff? What does cumin mean? Toasting the cumin, what does toasting the cumin mean? There we go. And by the way, if you get on the website, you can sign up for my grammar lessons. Okay? So here we go. Toasting the cumin. We're actually going to introduce it to the onions and the sausage. But whenever you introduce an herb or seasoning to a pan, even when there's other stuff in there, as long as that stuff isn't too, you know, liquid intensive, you're actually toasting your seasoning, which brings out a little bit more of the seasoning, a little bit more flavor, a little advice that you're going to get here for your money, okay? So we're toasting that. And can you smell that, Dan? Oh, Dan, our dessert guy, you know he's here, folks. You know he's here. He can smell it next door. He can smell that all the way next door over the fence. So we know that cumin smells awesome. Once we've put in, now the onions have cooked a little bit. You might cook them a little bit longer at home when you do this, but the onions have cooked a little bit. Once we got the cumin in there and we got the garlic in there, now, folks, we're going to put, this is it, Southwest lasagna, salsa, okay? The original recipe calls for 4 cups of salsa. We're putting in about 3 cups today because we don't have as big a pan as you're going to use. So we're just keeping it cool here, and we're just going with a little bit with 3 cups of salsa. Now use any salsa you want. You know who you're making it for at home. So if your guests like the salsa to be hot, use hot, spicy salsa. You want to make your own salsa? Cool, do it. I didn't make it. I got a little behind, so I didn't get a chance to make it. But you can make your salsa at home and use it. And this is an awesome way to utilize it if you got those tomatoes growing in the backyard and it's summertime. You can, this is a great way for you to utilize your salsa. Okay, once we've introduced the salsa, And if you're just joining us, yes, indeed, folks, this is Southwest Lasagna. Southwest Lasagna. Oh, and that smells good. I get some good, you know, you go to the grocery store, you usually can find a pretty darn good salsa in the fresh section. Sometimes these grocery stores make their own salsa, and they're relatively inexpensive too if you don't want to make your own. So I would recommend getting that fresh stuff that you get like in the dairy section. You know what I'm talking about. Also, some of the Hispanic markets that we find around here. Go in there, ask them about their salsa, okay? They might be making their own salsa too. Grab that, okay? But watch the heat. Watch the heat on those. That's the main thing to remember. So now we've done this. We've got this far. Now what we're going to do, you take some pinto beans. Now the pinto beans that you're going to be using, what you'll need, just go ahead and use the canned ones. They work just fine. And use the canned pinto beans, but you're going to want to definitely drain and rinse the pinto beans, okay? Now when Left Coast Carl was on here on this show, of course the famous blues DJ from one of the local radio stations here, when he came on Man in the Kitchen and prepared meatless red beans and rice, he told us that the most important reason to rinse canned beans would be to reduce any flatulence, any potential flatulence producing agents, okay folks? So out of respect for Left Coast, these beans have been drained, rinsed and drained, okay folks? Here they go, pinto beans, ladies and gentlemen. Just one can, pick up a 14-ounce can or so of pinto beans, and there you are. Right now, your house is smelling like, you know, it's smelling like Mexico right now, okay? Your house is gonna smell like Mexico. We call this Southwest Lasagna. But people are getting, we got the cumin, we've got the pinto beans, and remember folks, this is a lasagna. So we're gonna get both of them back together. So we got those two things going. Now, I told you that this little Southwest lasagna would have a little kick to it, a little flair. Okay, a little flair. So what do you like that dance, Mart? Mart likes do a little dance here. Okay, so we got a little kick to it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to call this the Southwest lasagna with a tribute to Italy, because the cheese filling is just like the lasagna you normally make. That's what's kind of cool about this dish. It's got the yin and the yang going for it. It's got the Southwest and it's got the Italy. So it's kind of a neat thing. So first of all, let's get ourselves a bowl. And first of all, actually, before that, let's clean it up. Because you folks are so kind to not turn the channel and stay with us that we want to at least clean up for you, okay? If you were standing here, we would be cleaning up for you. So just because you're out there in TV land, okay, it doesn't mean we're not gonna pay attention to our manners. All right, remember the fun way that we do this, folks. Some of you say, hey, Man in the Kitchen, I've been doing that for years. You didn't invent that. And to you folks, I say, I did too. So here's what I'm talking about. We got an egg. All we want is an egg white. So we just take our egg. All right, my grandmother, Minnie Bowman from Nampa, Idaho, was the first person ever to do this. She taught her daughter taught her daughter. That was my mom. She taught me, and there we go. So that's it. We want as much of the white, and if you just move it back and forth like that, you'll get your egg white, and that's it. We want the egg white. Now, we're going to put in, all right, again, tribute to Italy, ricotta cheese, ladies and gentlemen, a little ricotta cheese, okay? So put the ricotta cheese in. Then, just because we aren't doing anything healthy today, a little bit of cream cheese. Cream cheese, folks. Yeah. The crowd is happy now. So what I'll do right now is I'll grab a whisk. I'll grab a big heavy whisk here, and I'm going to mush together. Now the cream cheese I put in there is actually at room temperature. You know, I shouldn't have used the whisk because this is going to get stuck in here. So I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out of there. Please go out of there now. And that's it. Made a mistake. You know, nobody's perfect. And God knows if you watch this show, I ain't. So I'm going to use this nice fancy spoon, okay? That came with the set, all right? So I get this stuff, I might as well use it, huh? And that's the toughest thing, folks, you know. When the nice people put together the set for us, I walked in here and saw how hard they had worked on this set. And my first response is, oh my God, it's way too classy for me. And I had to go out and buy a new wardrobe. So here we go. I've got the new wardrobe going. All right, can you see this? What's nice about this, folks, is that we've actually got we've got the cream cheese. It went to room temperature. So it just folds in so nicely and blends in so well with the ricotta. So I'm happy now. Life is good. We don't have to worry. So that's that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this over to the side right now because, again, tribute to Italy. We have to put something Italian in our cheese filling for our Southwest lasagna, and that will be a little bit of spinach. Now, I use the frozen spinach because that's what you're going to use, and it's easy to find. So use the frozen spinach, and then what we'll do is grab yourself a nice piece of standard household paper towel. Put your, and I'm going to lift this out. I'm going to have a little class and lift this out. Okay, I'm going to lift it out. I'm not going to dump it.
Class we've had.
Yeah. Lee Underwood saying that's the most class that he's had. Well, because I have to now because I get this set and, looking good. So I'm going to lift it because I've got a little bit of moisture. The key here, folks, is we want to get rid of the moisture. We don't want the moisture at all in our spinach because we're going to dry it up and put it in our cheese filling. So what we do is we just go like this, and I'm going to take one of my bowls that I had here earlier, and hopefully Sherry won't mind. I'm going to use it and get it, and I'm just going to squeeze out the moisture right out of that darn lasagna, out of that darn spinach that's going to go into the lasagna. Okay, we want to squeeze out as much as we possibly can. And there's a lot in there. And you buy this frozen, okay? So when you thaw it out, you either thaw it out on defrost in your microwave or you just leave it in your refrigerator overnight. Depends how much of a propensity you are to be a good planner. And then there we go. So we take this, okay? That's about it. Then what I'm going to do, okay, because I'm applying a little bit of common sense here, I'm going to wipe off, okay, I'm going to wipe off my board. And then, because it has moisture on it, then I'm going to just take my spinach. Thank you for staying tuned to this, folks. If you were going to turn the channel, you would have done it just then, right? There it is. Okay, so anyway, that's where we want it right now. Take my dry knife and just chop it up. Now, why am I doing this with a knife? Because the recipe that was based on this, that I saw, actually required you to put all this in a food processor. The cheese part here, this cheese mixture. But I said, you know what? I'm not in the mood to get the processor out today, so let's just do it by hand. Okay, so just chop up your spinach. That's it, just chop it up. Okay, so now, where's my bowl? Here it is. Let's put the spinach right into our mixture. Oh yeah. Right into our mixture. There it is. And then we just, and I'm trying, you folks write me on the website and you say, hey Jeff, you're getting sloppy. You're getting sloppy all these years. And you know what? They're right. I am, and I'm trying to be a neater person and keep things clean. I'm attempting to, and believe me folks, it's a challenge. So to keep clean, but hey, I'm trying. So here we go. So now I've got my nice clean cutting board and I'm just gonna fold in the spinach. Just fold it in right now. So we've got the spinach flavoring going on with the ricotta and the cream cheese. And then just when we thought we'd had enough ingredients, we come over here, put in a little, ladies and gentlemen, a little Parmesan cheese. Now, you want to buy your Parmesan, get the Parmigiano Reggiano. You can find that at most of the Italian stores that we have around town. Parmigiano Reggiano, good stuff. And grate it yourself, or buy it grated, but you folks need to, and while you're picking up that salsa in the fresh section, you need to go to the fresh section of whatever market you're in and make sure that you're getting fresh Parmesan. Do not buy that stuff in the neon green tube, please. Please do me a favor, don't buy that stuff, because it's fine, when you're 7 years old and you're putting it on, spaghetti noodles with butter, that's cool. But these people are going to kill me now, aren't they? They're going to send a hitman out. But you know what I'm talking about. That stuff's fine, but if you're really serious about cooking, get the Parmigiano Reggiano, I tell you, if you're really serious. And if you're almost serious, you're kind of pseudo-serious about your Parmesan cheese, get the stuff in the little plastic canister at your grocery store. All right, here we go. Enough. I'll get off my soapbox, my Parmesan cheese soapbox, and I will stop talking about it. Okay, there we go. We have the cheese ready, and the one last thing we have to do here, folks, and I know on Man in the Kitchen, people don't like to see me grate cheese, but I'm going to have to grate a little cheese. And what did I buy? I bought some Mexican cheese, folks, and you should be buying more Mexican cheese because, let's talk about this right now. The people get a little skittish about buying Mexican cheese because, over 10 years ago, we hear stories about bacteria and things like that. It's been 10 years. And I want to tell you something right now. If you are buying Mexican cheese today in a major grocery store, it's very, very likely that you're buying a cheese that's been, number one, manufactured in California or in the United States. Most of it's manufactured in California. And if you want to go to the cleanest factory that you've ever been to, go to a Mexican cheese factory. I'm telling you, folks. So there needs to be this whole thing about Mexican cheese. Let's get rid of it. Plus, it's awesome. Now, it's a little pricey, but like anything else, you're paying for something that's good. Now, what we've got here is we've got the Ranchero cheese, okay, which is awesome for, I use it a lot for enchiladas. You've seen me use it before here on enchiladas. It's a partial melter, all right? And look at this. I don't even really need to hardly grate it. I'm just crumbling it. And this is perfect for this dish because what it does is it's going to blend in with that wonderful sausage and bean mixture that we've got over there. It's going to blend in, but it also browns real well. And it just slightly melts. Doesn't really melt a lot. And what's cool about this is it's really good with enchiladas. You don't have to worry about the cheese just, you know, when you make enchiladas and the cheese just kind of oozes out the sides and goes to no man's land. This stuff doesn't do that, okay? It doesn't do that. So I'd recommend a little Ranchero cheese. Now I think we're almost ready, folks, to pretty much to compile our, you know, pretty much ready to compile our cheese mixture. Now, Mart's telling me I got 4 minutes left, and I forgot to do something. You people, we have the most astute viewing audience. You noticed something. I forgot to do something. These 4 garlics, they're mad. They were mad at me. They're yelling at me. You ignored us. Okay. I forgot to put you know where those go? You got to mince those up because there were 8 cloves total. Those 4 didn't get into the cheese mixture. They're supposed to go in there. Okay, so when you do it at home, be sure to do that. It's an honest cooking show. Honest cooking show. Now, get yourself a lasagna pan. I like to use these little ceramic pans because they're cool. I really like them. I'm going to spray them with a little cooking spray. And those of you folks watching your waistline, all right, you guys out there, you know who you are. You're watching your waistline, okay? You'll notice that this is kind of healthy. It's not too bad except for the cheese. But other than that, it's not too bad. So the tribute to Italy part is a little bit fatty, but the Southwest part isn't. So it's not too bad. Lasagna noodles. Okay, go ahead and put in 1 layer of lasagna noodles in the bottom. And by the way, people, you know, right now there's probably some guy in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho saying, "Hey, Martha, this guy on TV is making like Mexican lasagna or something. He doesn't know what he's doing." And to that gentleman I say, you know, I respect everybody's opinion, but to that gentleman I say, hey, it's the noodle. Lasagna is the noodle, okay? Right? You can do what you want with the noodle. You can put raspberry and rum, Dan. You can put raspberry and rum in here if you want to. You know, whatever you want to put in here. There's no rules. So lasagna is lasagna. We just happen to have Southwest lasagna. Oh, look at this. Okay, so let's put about half of our wonderful sausage and bean mixture. And you know, I wish you were here, folks, because if you could smell this, and when you taste this, you'll find that it's a match made in heaven, I'm telling you. Match made in heaven. Okay, now let's put our Ranchero cheese next. Crumble it in, about half of it. And then let's put our cheese mixture. Oh yeah, about half of the cheese mixture right there. Oh boy, it is awesome, I'm telling you. Then we'll layer on more lasagna noodles. Okay, hence the term lasagna. And then the rest of oh yeah, how we do in 2 minutes? Okay, see, not bad. This is real time, folks, right? About 20 minutes is all this takes. You're gonna bake it, you know, in the oven for about 30 minutes. And then it browns up very nicely, and you'll see it after the break. We'll show you what it looks like. But let's go ahead and put this meat mixture and a little bit more of now some people like to get kind of fancy and dollop this stuff on here, but I'm just gonna put it on like this right now because we're running short on time, as you might be if you have guests coming over. And then we top it off with the remaining Ranchero cheese. And to make it, now this Ranchero cheese, it'll brown nicely, I'm telling you. It'll melt slightly and brown nicely. And then on top of that, get this. Remember, tribute to Italy. Parmesan, the rest of your Parmesan cheese goes right on the top here, and that is going to make it brown absolutely wonderfully in the oven, okay? So there we go, the rest of the Parmesan cheese, or at least most of it. All right, folks, now put that in the oven at 375 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then take the foil off, do that covered, take the foil off another 10 minutes, and you're in business. Guess who's coming? You guessed it, Dan Underwood. He's going to make something awesome, so do not go anywhere. So there you have it, folks. We've got the Southwest lasagna. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Doesn't that look good? Now, what more could you want? I know. Something prepared by Dan Underwood. Dan, good to see you, my friend. All right. Always a popular man here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Popular guy. What are you making now?
We're going to make a Jamaican coconut cake.
Ooh.
Not a traditional coconut cake. You don't need frosting with this. We are going to do a little something special at the end. But we're going to get started.
Cool.
In the blender, I've already done a cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. Weight Watchers people, I'm sorry. But that's what we're going to do. You're going to have 6 eggs. Now, the recipe calls for dumping these one at a time, making sure it's well mixed.
Oh, yes.
But we're in TV time, so we're not going to do that.
We ain't going to do none of that. There'll be none of that today. So normally just what, about a minute between eggs?
Just as long as it's incorporated into the batter.
Okay.
Go ahead and stir that first, and then go ahead and mix it up. Real easy. It takes a little time. Preheat your oven to 300. It takes a time to cook. It doesn't rise, so don't worry in the oven if it's going to rise or not, because it really doesn't.
Okay.
Go ahead and make sure your eggs are well incorporated. Then you're going to 2 cups of sifted flour.
Sifted. So get your sifter out, folks. Get your sifter out. Very important.
And just dump this all in at one time.
Can you buy it sifted?
Not that I found. Lord knows I've looked.
Bummer.
Remember, start slow. We already make enough of a mess as it is, so. And as you can tell, if you get a shot inside, that it's thickening up quite nice.
Yeah, that really is.
Smack your sides to get all the flour down.
Oh, the sides of the bowl. Oh, he said smack your sides, and I, ha, ha.
Okay,
a
once
joke.
that is incorporated well enough, you have 2 cups of coconut.
Ooh.
Now remember, the coconut, when you get it in the bags, it's actually over 5 cups.
Oh, it is.
So don't take it as a brick out of the bag. You got to fluff it up to make 2 cups. Otherwise,
Oh, gotcha.
it'll be. And you have 1 tablespoon
Incorporating a little bit of
vanilla.
air. Vanilla, okay.
And we go ahead and mix that together.
Oh, beautiful.
And like I said, this is really easy.
This is pretty easy. Let me get these out of the way for you here. Yeah, Southwest lasagna, Jamaican cake. Wow, what more do you need, folks?
And
An
you're
international
done.
show.
That's all the mixing that needs to be done.
So that's not bad, other than that thing with the
No, the
eggs.
time consumption here is the baking.
The baking, okay.
And the cleaning.
And the
I get
cleaning.
done flinging
I think
it
he
all
just
over
nailed
the
one of our crew over there, but that's
That's all
okay.
right. Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, he's got a smile on his face. It's okay. It worked.
You're going to grease a 10-inch pan, round pan.
Get your ruler out. Make sure it's 10 inches.
Well, you're going to want it 10 inches. If you make it less, it may not cook all the way through.
Yeah. It's about the size of my hat size.
Okay. Well, let's let that one go by.
We'll let it go. We'll pretend we didn't hear it. Maybe we'll edit that out.
And
Or maybe we won't.
Make sure it's nice and even.
Okay.
And again, what do we do with heavy batters to make sure that all our nooks and crannies get taken care of?
We really make the people downstairs mad.
You pound it down. Make sure that is nice and, as you can see.
There we go. Pound it down.
An hour at 300.
Hour at 300.
After that
Okay.
hour, put the temperature down to 200 for an additional 20 minutes.
Ooh,
And we'll go
okay.
into our secret oven.
And well, here, allow me.
And then when it's done,
Yeah,
it'll
that's
look
300.
like so.
Oh, let's
It
see.
is very,
Okay.
very heavy.
Ooh. You're right, it has not risen
Again,
much.
no frosting is necessary for this cake. Well, you already have a cup of sugar.
Right.
You want to hand me a knife?
A knife, yes, allow me. Okay.
Ooh,
That one?
Knife etiquette. What we're going to do, as you can see, it looks kind of
look at this.
plain,
Oh,
but
my
I
gosh.
swear to you. And what I like to do is I've made some of my chocolate rum sauce.
You get one of those real chef decanters there, too, for
Yes,
it.
I have. But I actually
Look at
just
this. He's
sprinkle it
gonna-
on the outside.
Oh, look at this. Now, slow down there. We got to get the cameraman on you there. Look at that. Oh, look at
Soaks
this.
into it.
I like that. So you put this on the base right around it, right around your
And then
Jamaican
the other thing I
coconut cake.
kind of like to do is
And if he likes to
something
do
I
it,
found, and for all you people, it is banana rum time.
10 points for you, sir.
I just like to sprinkle that right on the top.
Banana rum. Wait. Banana, what is this?
Banana rum.
Just banana rum.
Just banana rum.
Okay, where do you get that, Dan? I mean, don't
I
mention
got it
the
at the
store, but
supermarket.
any super, okay.
And then what I
Good.
have here is a Reuben coconut candy. That I
Reuben.
made with sugar and stuff, and I just like to sprinkle that over the top.
Okay, so you made this. Now,
made this.
Are you going to share the secret of how you made it?
Not today. That's for another show.
Oh, well. So
that's what you have.
So they just have to, oh, look at this. Okay, I'm taking a bite. I'm taking a bite of this.
Here, would you like a fork?
A fork would be very nice, although I could just, like I usually do. Okay, Dan, I'm going to say goodbye right now. Can I say goodbye right now, Mark?
Say
We have
goodbye
enough
before
time. Dan, thank you so much. I know this is going to be good.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Thank you so much. And folks, thank you once again for joining us on
Take care.
Man in the Kitchen. Bye-bye.